is going to be the tutorial that's going to show you how to make the mile a minute Celtic Weave Afghan. For this project, all you're going to need is this size, by the way, is for a full-size bed or twin size bed. I don't have the measurements, or I don't know, and I don't know the yarn amount that you'll need to make a queen or a king. That's just something you're going to have to figure out yourself. Now, each one of these here takes one skein of yarn to do this whole middle section, and about 2 to do the outside. So if you do one, measure how big it is when you've completed yours. Measure it, and then you can find out from there how many you need to make in order to make, you know, another size. Now, you can make these middle parts shorter to make a baby blanket if you like. And then to do the outside is still the same. You're still going to treat the outsides the same and the ends the same. So it's very adjustable on the size that you want to go lengthwise and widthwise by adding very diverse blanket. Now, the middle one here, I'm going to get this out of the way here. I have a little piece here. It's going to be a little easier to show you here. This middle part here is worked in rows, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then the outside here is done in the round. Also, what was the other thing I was going to tell you? Oh, depending on the size of your yarn that you use, like this one for instance was kind of a thinner yarn, and I was able to make using 3 cluster, not really a cluster, but 3 double crochets in each one of these, and it not buckle on me. It stays flat, which is exactly what you want. But on this bigger Afghan here, the white was kind of thick, so I actually had to change the pattern slightly. I did 3 here, but then on the next row I did only 2, and then on the last row I alternated. I did 3, then 2, then 3, then 2, and I have it on the pattern to help you whether you have thinner or thicker yarn. It'll change depending on if it's buckling for you, or you know, I should say doing this. If it's ruffling like this, then it means that you have too much. It should lay flat. Okay, so first off, we're going to start making our center. And like I said, I got one hole. I believe this was the one I used. It was a Lease Burkham Baltic, and it is 210 meters, 230 yards. And I used one whole skein. I just kept doing the pattern here. I just did it and did it and did it until I just ran out of yarn. Making sure that the very last row that you do is a single crochet row, because you'll do a triple crochet row, the one that does one of these things, then you'll do a single crochet row. It's alternating every row. Just make sure when you end it's going to be on a single crochet row, then you can cut the excess. So that's what I did. I just did one long, just did the whole skein. So first I'm going to show you how to do the middle part. And for this project, you're going to need a 5mm hook or a size H hook. And I would grab the color that you want to use for your middle. I used variegated here, but you can use you can use a solid color if you want. And like I said, each one of these are going to take one whole skein of yarn. Just keep doing it till the skein is gone. And do that with every single skein, because for the twin size, for instance, get 6, and then it'll all be the same kind of yarn, it'll all be the same kind of length, so you can just work the whole skein doing this middle part here, and then check it, make sure it's going to be a good length. And then you can just make all the centerpieces first, and then you'll start on the outside. Each outside takes about 2, almost 2. So I would get about 11. If you're going to be like me, the twin size, I would get 6 of whatever color you want to use for the middle, for your strips, and then get about 2. You may want to get 1 less, because you, like I said, you don't use a full 2 on the outside. It's been a while since I made it, and I had to make the last the last round here later, you may actually use 2 skeins. So go ahead and just be on the safe side. Just think 1 in the middle, 2 on the outside. So if you're going to make it queen size or a king size, just keep that in mind. You'll need 1 skein for the center and 2 for whatever color you're going to use on the outside. So grab your hook and let's get started. Oh, by the way, this stuff I used on the outside is just regular worsted weight yarn, 240 meters or 262 yards per skein is what I had for this. Okay, you want to begin your strip by chaining 10. So make your slip knot, chain 10, and then for row 1, you're going to double crochet in the 3rd chain from the hook. So 1, 2, 3 in this chain here, going to do a double crochet. And now you're going to double crochet in each stitch down your chain, and I'm only going through the top loop here. Then when you get to the end of your row here, you should have 8 stitches. So count 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 stitches. Now for row 2. Row 2, you're going to chain 1 and turn. Now for row 2, you're going to half double crochet in the first 2 stitches. So you want to yarn over, go into that first stitch, pull through all 3 loops. That's 1, and then in the next stitch do the same thing, pull through all 3 loops. That's 2. Then you want to skip 2 stitches, and then you're going to triple crochet on the 5th and 6th post. So here, if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this 5th double crochet here, you're going to be working on the post of this stitch. You're going to be doing a triple crochet. Triple crochet, you have to yarn over twice. Then again, you can count over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this 5th post. You're going to work that triple crochet. Then you're going to triple crochet on the 6th post, which is just the very next one. Just like that. Now you're going to want to back up to the 3rd and 4th post here. You're going to work on the 3rd post first, and you're going to do a triple crochet on the post. So going to count over 1, 2, 3, and on this post here, you're going to work a triple crochet. Remember, you yarn over twice, grab up that post, and work a triple crochet on that post. And then the 4th one now is in between your triple crochet you just did and then these 2 triple crochets here. It's hiding back there. So pull that little guy out, this 4th post of the row, and you work a triple crochet on him too. And then the last 2 stitches of the row, and I know you have a chain here on the side, but you're only going to be working with, see this clear stitch and this clear stitch, so you're only going to be working with those. Ignore that chain. You're going to do a half double crochet and those last 2 stitches to end the row. You can see the back is kind of like that. You can see now you have one going this way and the other one is hiding behind. So that is row 2. So for row 3, and every time you do a triple crochet row like this, the next row will always be the same. So you'll want to chain 1 and turn, and you'll just be simply putting 1 single crochet in each stitch. And you still have 8 stitches, so you're working with 8 stitches. And if you want to see what this row like this will look like from the back, I can show you real quick. It's kind of got like a ladder effect going. It's kind of hard to see with that color. There you go. It's kind of cool. It's got its own texture. So if you prefer, you can use this side and you can still use the other side, and it looks very good too. Okay, so that was round 3. So for round 4, we're going to chain 1 and turn. Now we're having the triple crochet facing in front of us again. Again, you're going to do 2 half double crochets to start off. So in the first stitch, you're going to do 1 half double crochet, and then the second stitch, you're going to do a half double crochet. The first 2 and the last 2 stitches of a triple crochet row will always be half double crochets. So okay, so then you're going to triple crochet. See this part that's kind of going this direction? I don't know why my camera's being blurry right now. Hello, there you go. So the one that's going this direction, I don't know why it's going blurry on me like that. You're going to be grabbing up this post of the triple crochet. So you're going to grab up the first one. So you're going to be skipping these 2 stitches and just working right on the post of the triple crochet and do a triple crochet. So yarn over twice, grab up that first post that you worked before on the 5th post of the row, sorry. Ugh. So hard to make sure this stays on camera and triple crochet at the same time. Okay. And then you're going to triple crochet on this next post. And because you did those first, by skipping those other 2 stitches first, you can see how now it's kind of being pulled over. So it's kind of created like a zigzag. And to make sure that these show up in the front, you now need to work behind these 2 triple crochets. And how you do that, first off, you're going to be doing a triple crochet, so yarn over twice. And then you're going to pull that down real quick, and then you can see these 2 stitches that you just skipped, and those are the triple crochets. You're going to have to grab over, and you can tell because see, these 2 are your half double crochets. You work those. This is your very first stitch that you skipped, and so you want to pull that post up and work a triple crochet on that post. And I lost one of my yarn overs. And then triple crochet on the very next one by pulling that one up and working a triple crochet. Now you can see how this one is still remaining up front, but you do have your 2 triple crochets worked back here. And I know it's hard to see on camera, but you'll be able to see your stitches a lot better. And I have a video as well. If you're finding it hard to see what I'm doing here, I have pictures on my site that will show you a little easier. Hopefully, I'll show you easier what I'm doing. And I also have an Interweave crochet stitch video tutorial that you can watch that I've been told that's very good. Also has slow motion and everything in it. So if you've never done the Celtic Weave Stitch before, I recommend that you go take a look at that video if you're having problems with seeing this video. Okay, so the last 2 again will be half double crochet, half double crochet, half double crochet, and half double crochet, and that finishes the row 4. I'm getting caught on my microphone. My yarn is, I should say. Okay, sorry about that. I had to untangle myself. Okay, so again, after every row, that you do a triple crochet, you're going to have to chain 1, turn, and then you'll work your single crochet row. And again, you should have 8 stitches. So you'll have 8 single crochets. Okay. Then you chain 1 and you turn. And again, the first 2 stitches of the row will be half double crochet, half double crochet. Then you're going to be working your triple crochets again. This time, your triple crochet, you have one that's going this way. And then you have these 2 little guys hiding back here, which are in the position 5th and 6th stitch. You're going to have to grab that 5th one up. Just pull him up, pull him forward like that, and work your triple crochet. Then you'll grab the next one up here and work your triple crochet. And then you'll have these 2 guys that you can clearly see that are in front. You'll back up to the 3rd one first, and then you'll do the 4th one next. So yarn over twice, pick up that first post of that triple crochet, and then grab the next one. And then again, you'll finish your row doing your 2 half double crochets, and then I'll show you the row because it's so much easier once you've anchored it down by doing those 2 half double crochets. Now you can see that it's starting to zigzag. Every time you have one going this direction first, you'll need to dig out this, you always have to dig out from behind this one, which is in the 3rd and 4th place. Do those first, and then you work on the one that's in front. And I'll show you that. So the next row is again a single crochet row, single crocheting in each of your 8 stitches. And I find it hard to see whenever you're using one solid color, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use another color just in hopes that you can see it a little better for this next row. So first, again, you're always going to do a half double crochet in the 1st and the 2nd stitch of the row. Now I'm hoping you'll see it a little better this time. Okay, so first off, we want it to go pull this direction. So you're not going to be working on these 2 first. You're going to be skipping those 2 stitches, working on this front one first, because remember, if it's pulling away from you this way, you now want it to be pulled towards you, and to do that you have to skip the 2 stitches. So you're going to grab up those 2 posts that are in front here in the 5th and 6th stitch position, and you're going to do 1 triple crochet, and then grab the next one up and do your next triple crochet, which will pull those triple crochets over. And now you want these triple crochets to show up, so you don't want to work in front of them. You're going to work behind them. So yarn over twice, and you're going to go from behind, and you're going to grab up this first, and like I said, it's always easier for me if I pull it down, because you can see here clearly the last stitch that you worked, and you know that these 2 are the stitches that lead to the triple crochets that you need to grab. So I'm going to yarn over twice. I'm going to find my farthest post over closest to the last stitch that I worked and just grab up that post and do a triple crochet on that. Then I'll do the same for the next one as well. That way they are behind. And then you do a half double crochet, then a half double crochet. then you can see the zigzag now going back this direction. Then you'll always chain 1 and do your 8 single crochets going this direction. Two, 4, 6, 7, 8. Now again, you're going to work your 2 half double crochets, and then you're going to work your triple crochets on these ones that are behind, and then you'll back up, and then you'll just grab up these 2 posts here and here, and you'll do your next triple crochets there. And I'm just doing this just in hopes that you'll be able to see a little better. I'm going to do a triple crochet. I'm going to do a row with this pink over the blue in hopes that you can see the contrast a little better. Okay, so you've got your 2 going this direction, and you got your 2 hiding back here. So I'm going to pull up these 1 back here that's hiding. Do a triple crochet on it, and then the next one that's in the back. Triple crochet on it. And then now you see this is pulled over to the side, and this is pulled over to the side. So you don't want them both facing the same direction, so you automatically know you need to work over this one to make sure that it's going to be going the other direction. So if you ever get lost and you're not sure, just keep in mind you don't want this one going that way and this one going that way. So obviously this row, you need to go in front and grab up the post below it to then have your row showing your next set of triple crochets now being pulled over this way. Then you'll again finish the row with half double crochet and half double crochet, and then you'll do your single crochet row again, and that's how you're going to continue to do this middle section. You just keep doing it, use your whole skein of yarn, and then it should be a decent length. Okay, now before you get going on making your strips, before you get too far on making your strips, I just want to give you a quick tip. If you can see how, if you look on the side, how it's kind of pulling up a little bit here. If you notice that your strips are starting to do that a little bit, sometimes it can be because you're going down kind of low, always going to pull up the biggest, largest part of the triple crochet. Now, if you do that a lot, it will tend to pull the whole thing into wanting to do a sandwich. So what I did is, if you look here, see how there's a little bit of a, I know it's hard to see. On your own project, I know you'll see. If you look on the sides of the triple crochet, see how there's this little bit, a little yarn here? There's a part of the side of the triple crochet. There's a large whole side, obviously. It's so hard to show on camera. See, there's a big part here. That's what you've been using. But there's also this little bitty space up at the top of the triple crochet. Now, I found when I used this part, it loosened it up some because I wasn't going under. This is why it pulls and tries to fold, because it can't slip completely up to the top because it's got that little bitty bit of string there that's stopping it. So if you go above that little bit of string, it's going to have a lot more pull. So I recommend when you're making your triple crochets that you grab up that in between that top part, the closest that you can to the stitch itself. And you can see that there's that little string here. It's under my hook. instead of me going all the way down and getting here and having that little bit of string on top of my hook, which you can kind of see here. See, now it's on top and it's going to stop it, see? And that's why it'll start to do this. So my tip for you, once you get this down and do it a few times, you get the actual stitch down some, then you can start focusing on trying to get just that top part of the triple crochet to work your next triple crochet on. So first, of course, learn the stitch itself, and then you can focus on making sure you stay above that little bitty part, that little bitty string part of your triple crochet. And this will help prevent your strips from doing this. Okay. I'm back, and I'm just going to pretend that I am getting to the end of my skein. And of course, I think I told you before, you want to end on a single crochet row. Just a second here. Yes, I'm going to make sure I have my mic on. Single crochet row. Okay, so you did your single crochet row, and again my camera is going out of focus. Okay, so then you'll chain one, and then hopefully you only have a little bit of string left, and you'll cut it, and you should have this long strip. We're gonna play pretend. Okay, so just imagine that's some long strip. Now you want to grab the color that you want to start using for outside of your strip, because now we're going to be working in rows. Well, you know, I'm actually going to have to cut my string here. Don't want to, but for y'all I will. Just because I need to show you well on how to work all the way around. I usually don't like to cut this thing. As you know from a few of my videos here, I like to use it a lot because it's thick, though it seems like the light seems to shine off of it a little brighter lately. Harder to see. Well, I'm using a darker color now. Hopefully you'll be able to see it a little better. Okay, so gonna make my slip knot here, and now to attach to the round, this is the top, this is the last row worked, and you want to attach it on the side. And if you look on the side, let me get just a tad bit closer. If you look on the side, you have a little line again of string that separates this side stitch. Up here is the closest to the top of the double crochet, and of course a single crochet, and then you have this, which is the bottom part of your double crochet. You're going to be working in this bottom part, so you're going to go under that little string here, and you're going to attach your yarn right there. Now you're going to be slip stitching, so I'm going to go into that little underneath that string here, and I'm going to slip stitch my new color on. Now you want to chain 3, and you're going to move down to the next space here that has the next string here, and you're going to slip stitch here under that one. Then you'll chain 3 again, find that next space that has the string here, and you're going to go slip stitch there, and you're going to continue to do this all the way down. It's incredibly hard to see when I'm trying to look on camera and work, but you're going to do this all the way down your strip, chain 3, slip stitch in the next space, chain 3, and move out my camera a little here. Find the next space here underneath that piece of string, to slip stitch, chain 3, and you're going to be making these little chain 3 spaces all the way down your strip, and we're going to be working our double crochets in these next round. So continue and work your chain 3 spaces and slip stitch all the way down your strip. When you get up to your corner here, then you're going to have to change. So go ahead and pause the video and come back and I'll show you how to deal with one of the corners. Okay, I've made it to about it's equal on this side that I started here. So you have a little bit of a space left because you started lower on the double crochet. So you have a bit of a space here, and now you stopped here just short, and this is your double crochet left, what's left of the double crochet here and the beginning row. And so now when you get to the corners, you're going to be making a stitch basically there too. So you want to chain 3, and you're going to go right into the top corner, the stitch basically. You're going to into the first stitch of the row. That way you have your little stitch on the side here. Now when you get to the top or the bottom of the strip, it's going to be the same. For this row, you're going to be chaining 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you'll skip 2, 1, 2, and in this third stitch, you're going to slip stitch. Then you'll chain 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then you're going to find the very last stitch. I think you skip 3. So 2, 3, I think it's 3. 1, 2, 3, yeah. You skip 3 on this side. You want to find that last stitch of the row, and you'll slip stitch in that last stitch. And then you'll chain 3. And then turn, and again you want to find the lower part of that double crochet here on this side to slip stitch into. Now you want to try to keep it as equal as you can from this side to this side. Now after this initial slip stitch, you chain 3. Now going back down this side, I've found that if you use this bigger stitch, you have like the single crochet row, which is like a small stitch, then you have this big stitch of the double crochet. I would use this to slip stitch into, going back down this direction, which is basically you're going backwards this way. So you'll chain 3, skip the smaller stitch row, which is the single crochet row, and then go right into that next big space beside it. Then chain 3, skip this first hole, and then go right into the second. Then chain 3 again, and you'll continue to do this down this other side of your strip. When you get down to the end, I'll show you how to deal with the other side.